It's December 31st, the last day of 2024. A couple of weeks from when this video releases, at that exact day, millions of people around the world will be making the decision that enough is enough, that they will at last make something of themselves. 90% will try for, at most, a week. 9% will go on maybe for a month. And for this 99%, another year will go by just like that. Nothing new will be achieved. Most people want to get fit, yet 70% of people are either underweight or overweight. Most people want to have a successful business, yet only 1.5% of the world has more than $1 million of net worth. The reality is, most people aren't capable of doing these things. And that's because their brains are totally fucked. If your brain is fucked, well, you're also completely fucked. As I explained in my previous video, in order to build anything great, you must have the ability to focus on one particular idea for weeks on end. If your brain is fucked, how in the world do you expect to be able to do that? Luckily, there is a cure. Part 1. Focus. The first step of fixing your focus is understanding why it is so important and understanding the lack of it. I think everyone watching this video already can agree that focus is essential for anything you may want in life. The sad truth is, humanity is slowly losing the ability to focus. Everyone is experiencing this at a different rate, but is gradually losing focus nevertheless. Simply put, when was the last time you walked without listening to music or checking your phone for 10 minutes? I bet you already scrolled to the comments section and checked your phone. Some people have even already left the video. When you are doing this, you have to realize that you are gradually decreasing your attention span and frying your brain. The second step is admitting that your focus is long gone. When I tell you to, I want you to pause the video and challenge yourself by turning off all your devices and focusing on one thing only, with a pen and a small piece of paper next to you. Read a book, exercise, or work. But whatever you do, focus solely on that. Do this for at least 30 minutes, and every time you lose focus and get an urge to distract yourself, mark it on the paper. This will show you how fried your brain is. This step is crucial, as you need to admit to yourself that you have a problem, and promise to yourself that you will fix it, if you want to make progress at all. Now, go do it. Come back, and I will show you the next step. I know that some of you didn't listen to me and ignored what I just said. That is not that big of a problem, as long as you do it sometime soon. Now, I bet that those of you who did it now have realized how fucked their brain is. But why did this happen in the first place? Well, the third step is figuring out and fixing that underlying reason. You are addicted, but not to a certain action, rather to stimulation in general. In the modern world, there are so many things stimulating your brain in such a short span that an average human's brain is now constantly yearning for stimulation. This can come in many forms, some more dangerous than others. It can be innocent things, such as playing with something in your hand while working. Or it can be things that are detrimental in more ways than one, such as doom scrolling and pornography. Without extricating yourself from these sorts of habits, it is impossible for the cure to work. Go grab another piece of paper and list all of these sorts of habits you have. Be honest. No one is going to judge you for this except yourself. After you've got your list, you'll easily eliminate the small ones in the next few weeks. But there will be ones that are much more deep-rooted. For those, the best thing to do is to seek help from someone you trust. I already have a video on how to end a porn addiction, and I will make a video on how to deal with addiction in general. But it is widely accepted that having an accountability partner makes quitting any addiction much easier. Part 2. Fixing the pathways. Lacking focus isn't the only way your brain might be fucked. I just talked about how some habits can be more detrimental to the brain than others, and that is because they form pathways in the brain that mess with your perception of the world. Someone who has been playing a certain video game too much may start drawing connections from everyday things to that game. Someone who has a long-lasting porn addiction will hypersexualize everything. You get the gist. This happens because learning isn't just memorizing certain facts. It is your brain making connections between things that you see often. And this forming of connections is expedited by overstimulation, which is why you can remember facts about a game or a scene from a porn video much more easily than you can remember something you have been taught in school. These pathways take much longer to restructure than it takes to increase your attention span, and they never truly disappear. They just sort of fade away as they are used less and less. Again, to fix this, it is crucial for you to get rid of the underlying reason. But there are also some things that can help. Replacing your old bad habits with new and healthy ones will in a way override the old connections. If your problem is porn addiction, for instance, experiencing romance in real life and creating loving relationships will quicken your healing. Another helping factor is exercise. Exercise, or physical activity in general, catalyzes learning and the creation of new connections in your brain due to it releasing a certain chemical that signals the construction of new neural pathways. Using these two methods, although it will still take some time, it will be much easier for you to heal. Part 3. Fixing your body. In Formula 1, if a car is shit, no matter how good the driver is, the team won't be able to perform. Similarly, if your body is unhealthy, your brain will cease to function properly. As most of you have already heard from the phrase, a healthy mind in a healthy body. Many things about your bodily health directly affect how your brain operates, how you sleep, your diet, how often you exercise, etc. If you don't get enough sleep, your brain will be foggy. If you eat like shit, your brain will think like shit. If you don't get enough movement, your brain won't get enough oxygen. If you want to have a well-functioning brain, you have to regulate what goes into it through your body first. Part 4. Training. Just like how you need to train your muscles if you want them to grow stronger, you need to train and challenge your brain if you want it to perform at its best. If you go to school, you already get the opportunity to do this daily. Make sure you use it. If you don't, you can do this in the form of daily reading or learning, or even puzzles and fun games. Just make sure your brain doesn't rust away. Part 5. Zone in. After doing all these things, your brain will be capable of doing what you want it to do, but most of you also don't actually know what you want. If you do, great, the video is over for you. But again, most of you likely don't. You are confused. Knowing that you want to do something, get somewhere, but not knowing what that place is. You don't know your purpose. Most people who are in this state either fail to work on anything great in the entirety of their lives, or work on the wrong things and end up regretting it all. The first thing you need to know if you are in this state is that you shouldn't need purpose to perform. It is highly possible that you won't find your purpose for a long time. And if you are not ready when you find it, you are going to have some real problems. If you keep your mind and body healthy until then, at least you will be ready to operate at your full capacity when that time comes. But really, finding purpose isn't as complex of a thing as people make it seem. If you have played a video game before, you most likely already have experienced what you will experience when your actions are aligned with your purpose. When you are working for your purpose, nothing else will matter. The outside world will cease to exist for you. And that is exactly why it is impossible to miss it when you encounter it. To find your purpose, the only thing you need to do is to try new things. It only seems hard because you never go outside your comfort zone.